time?
Yeah, I'm kind of scared, but I can do this. Yeah, mess with me. Yeah, let's do this, man.
Loving husband and father. Nothing is too good for my daughter. An ambitious businessman with a dark secret. A girl with a whole life in front of her, plunging into a marriage that she did not choose with the wrong man.
I'm not ready to marry Zema.
But who is the right one?
Peter.
A rock star.
Good. Nasikia tunasikizana sasa. We continue with the conversation.
The babes keep chasing me, I guess.
Sorry for your technical hitch-up kidogo. We continue with the conversation from the, I think the difference between Rally 1 and Rally 2, just briefly too.
You will pay.
Seductive.
So,
dangerous.
Just a minute, just a minute. I'm telling you when we go back on air.
Everybody needs it. Everybody wants it. They will do anything to get it. Love and wealth.
Naam, ndio hivyo, hali si hali. Karibu tena kwenye kipindi KUTV in the Sport. Still on the line we have Peter Jenga, who is the media director of the World Rally Championship Safari Rally, which is the 7th edition of the World Rally Championship. Peter, you're still there. I think we are talking about the difference between Rally 1 and Rally 2. Briefly, give us a brief comparison, like what it takes for you to be in Rally 1 and maybe the difference with Rally 2.
Rally 1 is a purpose-built machine by the manufacturer who has decided to compete at the highest level of rallying, that is the World Rally Championship.
Yes.
This is a purpose-built machine which has very many technical advantages compared to a road-going car. For example, speed. It can reputedly accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in under 3 seconds, compared to a road-going car, which is maybe 4 or 5 seconds and above. Now, these cars that are competing in the Safari are from manufacturers, namely Hyundai, Ford, and Toyota.
Yes.
And they are driven by what we call Priority 1 drivers. These are professionals paid to do nothing but race cars, and they're paid a lot of money for doing that. 2, we have Rally 2 cars. Those Rally 2 cars is something similar to what any road-going driver owns. In the Safari case, the Rally 2 cars are from Ford, that is Ford Fiesta, and Hyundai i20 and Skoda Fabia. Okay. Same model that former national champion South is driving. This car also has a lot of modifications. It's a very fast machine, but not as expensive as a Rally 1 car, which they say it goes for as much as 150 million, as opposed to a Rally 2 car, which goes for about 80 million. Then we have Rally 3 cars. These are now almost similar to what you drive on the roads. And in the Safari case, it's been driven by the 3 Kenyan youngsters, Makrek, Mahdi, Hamza, Anwar, and MWAURA. Again, the Safari situation, they are Ford Fiestas, Rally 3 cars. And they also are not that expensive in rally speed. But compared to a rally road-going car, it's still expensive, retailing for as much as 12 million shillings.
So what does it take for me to go up the ladder from maybe Rally 3 to Rally 1? And then maybe the period of how many years do I have to... Is it about experience? Is it about me going rallying for so long that I earn my... Because again, they are very young. We have young drivers in Rally 1.
Like any other sport, you can have a prodigy Exposure is key and it's very, very important if you're introduced to a particular sport while you're still young. For example, the current world champion, Kale Robert Pera, is only 22 years, but he was seen spinning away like a professional while 9 years old. We were back in Latvia, near in his home country of Finland. The best rally drivers, they start with 2-3 wheels, like you and I, we started with a tricycle. Then you go to a bicycle with your father or your friends. They introduce you to motorcycles, and then gradually 4-wheel drive. So this is a gradual climb. 2, it also requires support that you get. In the Kenyan situation, your father's money quite counts a lot, because you don't expect a guy from the street to be able to be exposed to such privileges at an early age. So it's not a question of how fast you can climb, but do you have the requisite skills which are honed from a very young age. You can see Kale Robert Pera last year, he won he became the youngest world champion at age 21. Now, there's another youngster called Oliver Soberg. His father, he was a former world champion, just like Kale's father, Harry Robert Pera, who also competed here in Kenya. There's also that parental exposure as well as influence. Let's say, for example, we have 3 youngsters racing under the FIA Rally Star program. These guys have been exposed to the best machine. That machine is actually good for their, for developing talent. But let's say if we have rally drivers starting at an early age, then they can be able to climb to Rally 1, from Rally 3, they go to Rally 2. But for you to reach Rally 1, you must be extremely special, because as of now, we have about 12 seats. In the Safari, we have 10 seats. We don't have more than 20 Rally 1 cars in the world at the moment.
Yeah. So, Peter, let's talk about again. I think the likes of Makre Kimathi have been able, since the first time we hosted the Safari, the return of the Safari, they've been able to participate in Rally 3, I think, in different countries. From your conversation, because I know you have had conversation with them, is it paying off? What are they saying the experience has been? Are they learning new things? And do you think us even getting the Safari Rally back will in terms change how our motorsport in the country is viewed?
Yeah, Makre started rallying at a tender age.
Yeah.
In 2019, when he hosted the candidate event, he was the youngest driver to finish the Safari. So come 2021, he was naturally at the forefront of being selected in the FIA Rally Star program, which is open for drivers 27 and below. That's between 18 and 27.
Yeah.
So he fitted into that category on the strength that he was the youngest finisher in the 2019 candidate event, the event that was held to test Kenya and see whether Kenya was capable of hosting a future world championship. And sure enough, that same year, the Safari returned back to the world championship from after 18 years there. Now, when the FIA said that they wanted a leadership program, they didn't just want to come to Kenya, race and return back without leaving something for the Kenyan side.
Yeah.
So they told the WRC and the Kenya Motorsports Federation to nominate 3 drivers for that program, which was started in 2021. Then Kimathi ended up being the Africa champion, junior champion, and on that strength, he was nominated to represent the continent in the Junior World Rally Championship last year, whereby he made his debut in Sweden. It's called a snow rally. He had never seen snow in his life. And nonetheless, he proved to be quite capable, quite talented, and we can see that his talent is actually developing very fast, because now he was exposed not only driving, but also mentally, and was also exposed to show how a car is supposed to be handled, to be set by a professional team. Because now Ford M Sport Ford had provided the cars for the continental champions.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, 85 events. Anybody in that program is expected to do 5 events, namely Sweden, Croatia, Estonia, Portugal, and conclude in Greece, of which out of the 6 drivers, he managed to finish in the fifth overall. That was a good achievement. If you look at his skills now, they have really improved. This year, MWAURA is in the same program, again representing Africa, having been Africa Junior Champion last year. And I can tell you, I can see how he's spinning his wheel, his mentality towards how his approach and everything is mature, and he's very, very focused. So I believe this is a very good program that will produce, maybe if for the sake of continuity, and the fact that Toyota have teamed up with the Ministry of Sports to start a rally school at Kasarani, that it may give you and I, our children, young people, who may not come from a very well-off background, but who have the talent, if they are discovered, then they are capable to drive, to climb through the radar, and possibly, who knows, to a one category. It is the same approach we saw Lewis Hamilton parents use that path to take him to where he is today.
Yeah. Peter, before I let you go, I think the frequently asked question about the rally, and one of the questions that I've came across in numerous platforms is how do you determine a winner in the safari? Because there are people who expected that the cars are going to race at the same time, and maybe because of maybe watching too much Formula One. How do you decide who is the winner? How do you give the points in terms of the drivers, in terms of who to now determine who wins the championship? Maybe quickly for the viewers who might be asking this question.
Rally sport is like any sport. It's a competition involving speed. It's the winner is who is the fastest from point A to point B.
Yeah.
In this case, everybody starts at his or her own time, but we expected, let's say, to cover 30 kilometers. The fastest who covers that distance is declared the winner.
Okay.
Irrespective of which car you are driving. We have been situations whereby a Rally 2 driver can easily, probably outsprint a Rally 1 driver, maybe through a twisty, hilly section that was skills, rather than just raw speed. 2, how you determine the champion? Again, it's divided in 3 categories.
Yeah.
The winner gets 25 points in each of the categories. Then number 2 gets 18 points. Number 3, 15. Then it just followed by a gap of 3 until number 10, who gets 1 point. In case of the World Championship, the last day you have what you call a Wolf Power Stage. That again is a stage, a very short stage of about 5 kilometers or so. Or in the Kenyan situation is 11 kilometers, whereby the fastest driver gets 5 bonus points in the championship. 5 bonus points are very, very crucial in the sense that if you are very, very closely matched, those 5 points can change, can make a difference.
Yeah.
Now, each team has nominated drivers to score points. That is 3 drivers to score points. So the points you score, let's assume the winner of the Safari is Oja, who is currently leading. If he wins the Safari, he'll get 25 points.
Yeah.
Should he also win in the Power State, he'll earn a 5 extra bonus. That is 30 points.
Okay.
That is his.
Yeah.
It is the same. Those points will also be added on Toyota's tally.
Okay.
So that by the end of the year, the 3 manufacturers also abide the manufacturer's title.
Ah, nice. Well said. 70 years on. I think we are celebrating 70 years since the Safari was first staged. Is there? I know there's a lot of changes, maybe compared to the days of Patrick Njeru to now. But 3 years on, I think this is the 3rd edition since the Safari Rally returned to the World Rally Championship calendar. What would you say has been the biggest change?
Okay, previously the safari was a marathon, 5,000 kilometers. By the time it was exiting the World Championship, it was about 1,500. Now the distance has been reduced. The competitive distance where it's contested for the points is only 350 kilometers. Previously, you had to pace yourself. Today, you had to sprint. You know, you're talking of you compare the safari of Kilimanjaro was a marathon. You pace yourself. You know that you are running a race for 42 kilometers. Today, the championship is 100 meters where Omanyala has to plan properly. He has no time, and he has no time to make a mistake. It's just a sprint from point A to point B. Yes, the safari was kicked out of the World Championship in 2002 over safety issues and lack of sponsorship. In 2018, 2017, the government decided that it is going to support the event, and former President Uhuru Kenyatta became a champion and of the safari and made it to its pet project. The first modern day safari rally was held in 2021, but despite the shortened distance, it proved that it is still had its all characteristics, the 70 years characteristics of being the toughest in the world, being very unpredictable. The weather, for example, yesterday it was very dusty in Naivasha. Then it rained overnight, and there was pools of water, which affected the morning run. And as times will show, the morning runs were slowed down by rain, and the afternoon again, clumps of dust. The safari, in my opinion, is here to stay. First year it was to showcase Kenya. Second year it could confirm that look, we still got what it takes. This year is a confirmation that our intention is to be in the championship for as long as possible. Maybe in the next 7 years also.
From how you have viewed the drivers, I think earlier today, Sebastian again was impressive, same as yesterday. Do you foresee a situation where we might see a change in terms of how the drivers are ranked before we close the rally?
Yeah, motorsport is very unpredictable. For example, yesterday, Thierry Neuville was doing very well, but he just cleared a pipeline and he was out for the day. Yes, Ogia psychologically is in the lead, but it's only leading by 22 seconds. A puncture or anything, or even a spin, is enough to push him back. You never know. You can never predict the outcome of the safari until the first car crosses the finish line. That is tomorrow outside in front of the cliff at Hell's Gate National Park.
So Peter, thank you for your time. Nimeshukuru sana. I think I've learned a few things about the safari, and hopefully by the next edition we'll actually be having a conversation in Naivasha together. But for now, thank you for your time.
Karibu sana. Thank you so much.
Well, that has been Peter Jenga, the director, media director, World Rugby's Championship Safari Rally, the 7th edition of the World Rugby Championship. Umepata raha, umepata kujua kitu kipya kuhusiana na mashindano ya magari tofauti ya Rally 1 na Rally 2, Rally 3. Nilikwambia pia kuna Rally 5. Kwa hivyo ukiangalia magari una notice tofauti. Hata wakati zinakuwa flagged off, kuna watu wanasema hiyo ya Kenya ikimbii, hiyo sijui imepakwa yellow, mbona ikimbii kama ile. Kuna tofauti. Umesikia Rally 1 ina peak 100 kilometers per hour in less than 3 seconds. Hebu fikiria. Next time tuhakikisha pia kwamba tumetengeza ujue tofauti ya hizi gari za rally, kwa nini zinakaa tofauti, kwa nini kibingirika inaendelea na safari tu. Lakini kwa sasa tufungie hayo mazungumzo hapa. Kama unapanga safari kuelekea Naivasha, nenda furahi. Nasikia tetesi kwamba kama huna 50,000, sijui kama ni kweli kwa sababu mimi sijaenda, lakini nasikia tetesi kama huna 50,000. Kuna ile wimbo ya Kaa na Mama Yako, ni kama hiyo wimbo ndio utacheza. Aya, ndio nichukue pumziko alafu turejea baadaye. Wacha nikuache na hii habari ya kutoka uga wa Nyayo Stadium ambayo iliandaliwa ama ni mazungumzo yaliandaliwa jana na wanariadha tofauti. Alafu pia nitakuwa namtafuta Evans AUMA sawa pia na mchanganuzi wangu kwenye Zoom pia tupate kusikia taarifa ama habari hisia zake kuhusiana na matukio ambayo yanaibuka katika ulimwengu wa mchezo. Tazama hii.
Well, the competition is getting tough and stiffer every single second. Remember, Kenya will be up against the likes of Uganda, Botswana, South Sudan in a race to clinch ticket to represent East Africa in the upcoming World Athletics Championship that will be held in Hungary, that is in Budapest in Hungary. Remember, there is races, this is the mixed relay races and the relay races that we will see Kenya iron it out with the likes of Uganda, Botswana, and of course South Sudan in the 4x100 and 4x400 meters races. Whoever clinched this ticket, of course, will represent the country. And we have seen the first heat of this particular race being completed. We have the likes of Ugut who have just actually won their heat 2 race, even as they prepare for the finals that is slated on Saturday. And we just want to get his opinion about the race, how the preparation is, and if actually he thinks that Kenya will walk all the way to clinching that particular ticket. Let's talk to Ogut. Well, Ogutu, thank you so much for making. Tell us how the preparation was and actually what are you looking forward for when it comes to the final tomorrow?
Okay, my goal for now was to qualify for the final for the team police, so we are aiming for the national record tomorrow. Then anything is possible for the Budapest.
Now let's talk about this particular short races. Of course, Kenya, we are not known for this, but what is your trajectory right now?
Okay, so far so good. As you can see, Omanyala have broken the barrier and we are running fast, and we'll qualify for the World Championship, the relay team. That's what we are targeting so much. He has been with Omala as my colleague. It has motivated me so much. Yeah.
Well, we have the likes of teams like Uganda, Botswana there, South Sudan that will be competing for this particular ticket. Do you see if they will pose any sort of threat or challenge to you as Team Kenya?
A challenge is always something good. As long as you're positive about it, anything is possible. We are Kenyan, and all of Kenyans, we always have the number one. All over the world, they know us for that. Yeah.
What are some of the areas that you think of course, you need to work on so that when it comes on final and even up in the upcoming games, you will be up to the standard?
Okay, mostly my stats is very poor, but going forward with the help of my madam coach, Papecho Mbutu, I'll do good.
Yes. Well, I'm assuming like you will clinch this ticket. And now my question is, what should Kenyans, of course, expect from you as Team Kenya and, of course, as you as a person of good?
Okay, what I want to say is that as a police officer, we are aiming higher. And I know we'll do good. Coming more races, because I know we only have 50 days. And so for the World Championship, so I know we'll be in a right position. Yes.
Well, you talk about being a police officer, and I even see actually Omanyala in the same, Taliban as you. Maybe talk to us about the influence that he has brought, and even in terms of even psych to the team.
Okay, being with Omanyala as a colleague and seeing him there, I've known Omanyala from the first day he came to running and everything. He's a good friend of mine. So being with him as a colleague, he has motivated us so much and made us to run even faster. Because each and every time we are making good steps. Because I'm the current National Police Championship winner, because Omanyala was not around. So last year, this year, I've defended my title. Yes.
All right. Well, talking about defending the title, give us, the target this time round. What are you planning? Sub something, or what is your trajectory this time round?
My target this year was 10-1, but I'm still working on that. Okay, and hopefully, who knows? When the trials came, I know I'll be somewhere. When the team will be called in, I know I'll be among the best to go to Budapest. Yeah.
Well, we wish you all the best in your endeavor and go there, make Kenya proud. That is if you make the cut. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, bro. Shukran.
Okay. Well, that was Daniel Ogut giving us his experience and, of course, what he thinks this time round the future holds for Team Kenya as far as this particular mixed relay races are concerned. He has just given us his trajectory and, of course, the influence that the likes of Ferdinand Omanyala, who is a fellow policeman, has, you know, the motivation that he brings to this particular team. Remember, the ticket is between Kenya, Uganda, Botswana, and of course South Sudan. Whoever wins this race will be the one to represent East Africa in the upcoming World Championship that will be held in Budapest, that is in Hungary, August this year. Earlier on, I spoke with Daniel about his expectation and now that what the future holds for him, now that he has actually won the ticket to represent the country, if he actually thinks that he will walk all the way and bring the trophy home. Let's take a look at what Daniel Were had to say about his qualification time. Hongera sana kwa kufuzu kuwakilisha Kenya katika mashindano ya dunia ambayo itafanyika pale Budapest. Tuambie unahisi aje saizi?
Nahisi vyema sababu nimekuwa nikiomba kila siku niweze kupata muda wa kufuzu. Nimekuwa nikijaribu mara kwa mara. Ingawaje nafikia pale lakini bado sikuwa na make ile mark. Lakini nashukuru Mungu imejileta yenyewe.
Well, ulikuwa unatarajia pengine matokeo yenye ambao umepost size hivi ni kitu ambao ulikuwa unatarajia ama kwako imekuja kama surprise?
Kwangu nikifanya mazoezi natarajia lakini I don't know what happened because hata nilipokuwa kwenye line nilikuwa nalia na sijaanza sababu nimekuwa nikiomba kwa muda lakini imeshatimia.
Well, wacha tuongelea about mashindano haya short races Kenya tujakuwa tukipost vizuri sana, lakini wewe umekuwa ni kama mmoja wa motisha saizi tunasema usha qualify. Pengine kidogo unaweza tuelezea hiyo safari imekuwaje na mtazamo wako katika mashindano kama hayo, pengine unaona huu ndo mwanzo au vipi?
Kwangu imekuwa safari ndefu. Nashukuru Mungu imetimia. Na nashukuru kila mmoja ambaye amenipa support. Kuanzia kwa mke wangu pale nyumbani, wazazi, coach na kila mmoja ambaye anafanikisha shughuli hii hadi wakati ambapo nimeweza kupata muda wa kufuzu. Ndio.
Sasa hapa kibarua kigumu sasa ni hao mashindano ya Budapest. Pengine wewe tutarajie nini sasa kutoka kwako?
Kwangu mimi naweza sema hakuna kitu kigumu. Muda ambao nimekimbia ndio ule wale wanakimbia kule. So kwangu mimi husema ni the best athlete win. Yeah.
Ni nini unaona unahitaji kuwako?
Naenda kuwako na my clearance technique na nikiboresha hayo kila kitu kitakuwa sawa. Yeah.
Tumeona kidogo kama nilivyokuwa nimekueleza hapo awali kuwa Kenya tujakuwa sana sana tukitambulika katika short races. Basi siku hizi tunaona pia mchango wa Omanyala. Pengine unaweza sema unaweza tuambia pengine mchango wako mchango wa Omanyala pengine imekuwa upi katika wanariadha especially kwa hizi short races?
Kwake mchango wake umefanya sisi wakimbiaji wengine tuwe na ile motisha, manake kama yeye alifanya na sisi tunaweza fanya. Yeah.
Well, shukran sana. And actually some of the key highlights that has been here is the instrumental contribution that the likes of Ferdinand Omanyala has been in these short races athletes. At least just praising the role that Omanyala has played as far as, you know, nurturing of young talent and even upcoming athletes in the short races. And I'm just glad to be joined by the one and only Ferdinand Omanyala. When I was, talking to other athletes here, they talk about the instrumental role that you have played as far as the short races are concerned, and even we have seen the likes of Daniel where of course even hitting the qualifying marks, that is 48.59 seconds. That is a quite achievement. What's your take on that?
When I started sprinting, I wanted to change the notion that Kenyans can't sprint. But before, we've been having sprinters not just with that level that I've gotten. And I believe there's so much talent in this country. And the only thing that people needed to get is to break that mind ceiling. You know, when you put a mind ceiling in yourself, like you cannot achieve what you've set, then you can't, even if you push your body so hard. So that's the only thing that I've done for them. I've opened their minds and they've seen that everything is possible. And for me, I'm happy and I'm proud of myself just to make that I've made this country and Africa to realize that we can really compete at the highest level of athletics, specifically sprint. So I'm really happy to see people coming up, to see sprinters coming up, and I have that pride in me that when I leave, at least there's no gap. At least we'll have a sprinter coming up every year, and that will be a big plus for this country.
I want us to begin by talking about the upcoming, of course, World Athletics Championship that will be held in Budapest. Kindly give us your insight, of course, even as you give us your target on this year's, upcoming championship.
Yeah, the World Championships last year I had a bit of a problem getting there, but this year the target is to get that goal. We have to win that goal. I'm feeling that we're going to win that goal, so that's the main target. But the most important thing is just get through the semis, to get through the heats. We can't speak of the medal and you're not in the final, so just to handle each race as it comes, and the preparation is going on well, so we're looking forward to that day. Yeah.
Well, you had set your own targets, like let's say sub 10 this time, but is it something that you're working hard on it?
Of course, so many factors affect the times that we run here. So we say it, we set targets. Sometimes we don't hit them, sometimes we hit them. But the most important thing is just to make sure that we achieve or just fall not far from it. Yeah.
I've seen you take part in many races. We have seen the Diamond Leagues. That experience that you had from different altitude environment, how instrumental is it for your preparation, even as you target for higher standards?
Of course, the Diamond League tour was a great experience, and for me it was a very big platform as we were heading to the World Championships. And I interacted with different people, different athletes who I'm going to run with in the World Championship. So it's all about just the time. We just need this time to get to end and get to the World Champ. So I feel I'm prepared, just working on the small mistakes that we saw at the Diamond Leagues, and make sure that we get it right when we get to the World Championships.
I know you have spoken about the targets and the expectation, but what is your message to your fans?
I just want to appreciate them. Every time I compete, they flock to the social media to just, give me the hopes and courage and, the motivation. And I see the debates online, and I'm happy and I'm proud of who I am. And I want to thank them for always being there. And I just want to ask them to pray for the next 2 months. We're having the World Championships coming, so let them pray. I know that's the biggest support they can give me. Yeah.
Ferdinand Omanyala, thank you so much for making.
Mazungumzo mazuri sana hapo na Evans AUMA, pia akiwa na wanariadha ambao kweli walikuwa wanashiriki kwenye Athletic Kenya National Championship ambayo ilikuwa inaendelea katika uga wa Nyayo. Na matukio mengi ama kuna raha nyingi sana ya michezo hapa nchini. Wasielewi kwa nini uchukui muda wako kutembea moja kwa moja kwenye hizi nyuga na unapata raha. Asante sana Kenyatta kutoka pande za Chuka, shabiki sugu sana wa KUTV michezo. Tangia enzi za micharazo mpaka leo anafuatia KUTV on the spot. Asante sana, wasalimie watu wa Chuka. Unaambia kwamba kipindi bab kubwa ni KUTV on the spot. Kitaka kujua masuala yote ambayo yanachipuka katika ulimwengu wa michezo ni hapa ndani ya KUTV on the spot. Kwenye swali la siku nimekuuliza kuhusiana na Engine Firat, kama unahisi ana uwezo wa kuifunza Harambee Stars ama kuinoa ikuwe na makali. Pia kwenye hiki kipindi, kabla nisepe, nitakuwa nazungumza na Evans AUMA ambaye uko mbashara live kutoka kwa ukumbi ama Kayole Social Hall, ambapo World Kickboxing Federation Kenya chini ya Rais Takid Yahuma Master wanaandaa seminar ama wanaandaa mkutano mkubwa sana wa vilabu vyote vya mchezo wa kickboxing hapa Kenya, kujaribu kuwafunza tofauti ya michezo tofauti, jinsi ya kujibeba ama jinsi ya kuishi ukiwa mwanariadha katika mchezo wa Muay Thai, kickboxing, hiyo yote michezo ambayo ni ya mieleka. Nitakuwa nazungumza naye atupe taarifa kuhusiana na matukio yako vipi hapo, na natumai pia atazungumza na Rais Takid, sawa pia na mabondia ambao wamekuja katika huu mkutano. World Kickboxing Federation inafanya vizuri sana. Ni baadhi ya federation ama mashirikisho ambayo kweli yanajisukuma na yanajiuza sana kwenye pale mashinani ama kwenye grassroots. Hapo sawa. Pia kumbuka kwa kesho ndio tunakamilisha msimu huu wa ligi ya hapa nchini, na nimekupa ratiba ya michuano ambayo itakuwa inasakatwa. Mchuano wa kwanza ama michuano yote ikisakatwa saa 9. Mchuano wa Sofapaka atakuwa anamaliza udhia dhidi ya Nzoia Sugar. Nzoia amekuwa na msimu mzuri sana. Sofapaka amekuwa kisuasua, si ule Sofapaka wa mwaka 2009. Mchuano mwingine pia itakuwa Kariobangi Sharks akiwa mwenyeji wa AFC Leopard. AFC Leopard akijaribu kukamilisha msimu vizuri. Wazito dhidi ya Mathare United, hawa ni wote maeneo la hatari ya maeneo la kushushwa. City Stars atakuwa anajaribu kumzawidi Tusker taji na kumzima Gor Mahia, akimkaribisha Gor Mahia kwenye mchuano mwingine. Alafu Posta Rangers akuwe mwenyeji wa Bandari. KCB akuwe anamenyana na Kenya Police. Ulinzi Stars mwanajeshi atakuwa anamenyana na FC Talanta chini ya ukufunzi wa Ken Kenyatta. Kakamega Homeboys akuwa anamkaribisha Bidco United kutoka Thika katika uga wa Bukungu Kakamega. Alafu Vihiga Bullets atakuwa anajaribu kumzima ama kumsimamisha Tusker na kuzima matumaini yake kuwahi taji la msimu huu. Ndio michuano ya kesho. Iwapo unajiuliza jedwali liko vipi, baada ya kusakata mechi 33, Gor Mahia anaongoza na alama 67, alama moja mbele ya Tusker FC ambayo yuko katika nafasi ya pili na alama 66 samahani. Kenya Police amepanda na kufanya vizuri sana, akimaliza katika nafasi ya 3. Utakuwa ni msimu wa kukumbuka. Yuko katika nafasi ya 3 na alama 63. Nzoia Sugar pia ambaye amekuwa na msimu mzuri anafunga 4 bora na alama 63. KCB nafasi ya 5, Bandari nafasi ya 6, Kakamega Homeboys nafasi ya 7, AFC Leopard nafasi ya 8, Ulinzi nafasi ya 9, Kariobangi Sharks anafunga 10 bora. Katika eneo la hatari, Vihiga Bullets anashushwa daraja sawa na Mathare United. Alafu Wazito watakuwa wanacheza mchuano wa kuamua kama atashuka daraja dhidi atakayemaliza katika nafasi ya 3 kwenye ligi ya daraja la pili ama ligi ya NSL. Ndio msimamo wa jedwali ya ligi ya hapa nchini Kenya Premier League. Kwenye international football hakuna makubwa ambayo yanafanyika. Wiki jana kumekuwa na mechi za kufuzu AFCON, sawa pia na michuano ya kirafiki. Argentina bingwa mtetezi akipiga timu moja Curaçao akiwapiga mabao 7 bila jibu. Katikati ya wiki amepiga Indonesia 2 bila jibu. Cameroon akaandikisha historia kubwa akitoka nyuma bao 1 na kupiga Brazil nyumbani kwa mabao 4-2. Sadio Mane akipachika 2. Ilikuwa mchuano mzuri sana huo ambao kweli utakumbukwa. Sijui kama tuko tayari na Kayole, watu wetu kutoka Kayole. Haya sawa, tuchukue pumziko alafu turejee tuzungumze. Tujitajua tutazungumza na nani. Kama watu wangu wa Kayole wako tayari, tuingie nao tuzungumze, ama mwenzangu mchanganuzi atupe pia habari zake. Usiende mbali, tunarejea tu baada ya dakika tu za kuhesabu sana.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audio-visual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
This is my Welcome to Children's Corner. I am...
I'm here to give you various workouts. I'll be having different trainers. We'll have Zumba classes, we'll have aerobics classes, we'll have box exercise, we'll have kata box.
Haya, asante sana Mike Kio kwa kutazama kipindi kutoka pande za Kiambu. Yente sana. Saa pia na Lady na Rachel ambao wanafuatia hiki kipindi na Francis wanafuatia kwa ukaribu sana. Karibu tena kwenye kipindi KUTV on the spot. Mimi ndio Peter Pinches, nasalia kuwa Peter Pinches na kukaribisha tena na nizidi kusema asanti sana. Nilikuahidi kwamba nitakuwa nazungumza na wenzangu ambao wako katika ukumbi wa Kayole Social Hall ama Kayole Social Hall, ambapo World Kickboxing Federation wako na mkutano mkubwa sana wa mabondia na washikadau wakubwa kutoka kwenye mchezo huu wa kickboxing, na nataka moja kwa moja tuende katika eneo la Kayole tupate kusikia Evans AUMA ametayarisha nini. Evans, kazi kwako.
Right, indeed, we are at Kayole Social Hall, and this is where the Kenya Boxing Federation is holding its, Kickboxing Federation is holding its seminar here at Kayole, just to discuss in length about social issues, that is, athletes' welfare, being it the doping, that is something that is happening. Then we have the training of coaches, all that in a brief. And I'm just glad to be joined by the World Kickboxing Kenya president, that is Mr. Master Takid here. And Master Takid, thank you so much for making time to talk to on the spot. I know like it's a busy day for you, but I want you to take us briefly what is happening right inside here. I know it's a lengthy discussion, but just give us an upside, or rather an insight of what is happening.
Okay, what's happening is that number one thing, it's World Kickboxing Federation Kenya, not World Boxing or maybe Kenya Kickboxing. It's World Kickboxing Federation Kenya, and I'm the president for World Kickboxing Federation Kenya as a Takid Master. So today we had a seminar. That was our first event since I was appointed in the office. So it's been 4 months since I was appointed. So today we decided to at least bring in some seminar for different clubs, where we have a club from Nakuru known as Kivumbini, but they are a mixture of clubs from Nakuru County. Then we have, there's a club, a very tough club, I think you guys know it, known as Hardcore, under Coach Mamba. And we've been covering a lot of things. We were talking about kickboxing in general, Muay Thai, MMA, K1. There are different kinds of styles that we are talking about. So that's why today we decided to be here on the 24th of this month, because I'd been waiting for this day to reach for sure. And number one thing, I really appreciate how KUTV works with us. And I would really like to thank PINCHEZ himself. He's been supporting us also a lot. And you guys have been supporting us a lot, because I can see even LFNE, and you've seen most LFNE guys are also here.
All right. Well, even before we come to actually, what is happening, I've seen among the key agenda that we have actually highlighted is the training of coaches. Now, beside, the expertise and the skills that they have, today's meeting, or rather today's seminar, what the additional value, the extra touch that it brings in terms of value and skill for these coaches?
Okay, the extra value was all about, you see, we've been training all these things. We've been calling ourselves kickboxers or kickboxing coaches. Someone is just from boxing, someone is from taekwondo, someone is from karate, but generally they don't have all that idea on what kind of styles we are doing. And another thing, the rules and regulations, both in the ring and outside the ring. So that's another problem that we have. So we've been working on that. That's why today, even me as the president myself, I've seen different things here and I've learned a lot. Not that we always know everything. No, it's not all about that. So we've been learning about. Then another thing that you didn't mention, in Sports Act, we have things like drug abuse, we have things like mental health, we have HIV in, but most of the federations have not been training people about this. They've just been training people. If you're a footballer, you just go to the field to play football. If you're a kickboxer or a taekwondo is what, you just know how to fight. To me, I decided to bring all these into one thing. That's why I had the director of chapters, who is Mr. Julius, to come on board also to talk about mental health. I also had director of Ndia Park, who is also an environmentalist, to come and talk to the youth about tree planting, about our health, because if the pollution is not good, for sure, it's not healthy even for us as a sportsman. So I was covering a lot of things, and that's what I sat down and thought of and decided to make it work for all our sports.
Okay, before we'll talk about all these issues, the things to do with the doping, the environment thing, but there is one thing that has actually, caught my attention. That is players, I mean athletes here, and because this is a whole discipline. We have the mixed martial arts, we have the kickboxing here. They are talking about, passionately about the struggles that they are going through. And this has been, been coupled with the aspect of we have like things like doping, we have issues to do with mental health, and all this coupled into one. At the end of the day, it is the welfare of athletes. Now, there is one thing that is very key, this one, the pressure that comes with the mental health. Just how important this discussion is to you as a president, and of course to these athletes that have just, partaking this seminar.
Okay, to me, what I'm trying to do is that, I was also once a fighter, so I know what all fighters go through for sure. So I would like, with my federation, what I'm thinking about is that whenever our athletes go for any competition, they should always be covered on different ways. Maybe if we can get insurance covers for fighters. Again, if we could be getting something at least after the fight, what will they put on the table? Because you see, most of the fighters are married, most of them are going to school, maybe someone has no school fees. So we are trying to put a way on how we could be helping all these fighters. If you are a school-going fighter, we could be facing a certain school that can even sponsor 2 of them to the federation. And even the federation could chip in something different that would also make their lives better. So I know very well, whatever you do, at the end of it is always all about money. You see, your welfare. Then another thing that I've been talking about with the athletes, some of them might be professionals who have been going maybe internationally for international assignments. But now if they come back with whatever small token that they have, there's another thing that they have a problem with, their financial management. All those things are also important and key to our athletes. Then another thing, we always talk about government every time that it doesn't support or what. It supports, but it only depends with how the federation will push for its identity and how it will push, because you can also be registered. You can have all the certs, but you can't maintain your federation because of what? The way you run it. Maybe corruption-wise, maybe what? Because some of the athletes, you heard them saying here that there was a time that when it was Corona time, there was some cash that were dispersed to different kinds of clubs for athletes and for their coaches. But then they didn't even receive. The reason is what? Corruption that we have in the leadership that we have in our federation. So, but to me, what I'm trying to fight about, because I've been a fighter, I've been through all this, and even right now, bro, I haven't made it yet. I'm also trying to struggle just the same way as these other athletes. So we are in the same bucket, you see? So I'm trying to work hard on seeing a way on how I can change their livelihood. And now it's just 4 months. If it's 4 months and you've seen the athletes that are there and what is happening behind me, just know that if it reaches maybe December, so there will be a lot of changes and you'll hear them. You'll be with us, you'll be seeing everything. We'll be bringing everything in the limelight.
I've heard you, giving them hope. So what's the plan going forward? Because I can see, I have seen you giving them hope.
Yeah.
What is the plan going forward? Because I can see a lot of optimism in this, athletes.
Hope without hard work doesn't work, or even without faith. So I'm just working hard on a way that I'll get maybe some sponsors. And I'm also working hard on a way I can start some different things for them. Number one, I could be going to different schools, international schools, private schools. Then once I go there, I'll make sure that I chip in on a way to get them some classes. If I can get 2 athletes who are fighters and can be coaches to one school, then they be coaches there, they get their own job, that's another thing. If I can go to KDF, I can go to Kenya Police, I can go to different, even NYS, you see, university and colleges, then get them some slots as coaches. I think we'll have done a lot on employment, because all these things are all about employment. And me, WKF, I want to be an employment for the youth. That's another thing. That's why I've been working hard on seeing a way on how I can even be getting in touch with different stakeholders. If they can even be employed, it's okay. If it's not that, if they can be employed like coaches, trainers, maybe private bodyguards, different things, then that will work. Yeah, so my target, I won't tell everything on how my plan or program is here, but I'll just touch a bit of the...
Right. Well, when you talk about employment and even, making the boxing, even proposing these changes, there is another key interesting thing that I noticed about, let me call them your manifesto, and this is the marketing of the sport. What is your take on this? Are we doing enough to actually, market this sport? Because boxing, kickboxing, mixed martial arts, these are paying sports, but are we doing enough?
That's a good question. In fact, today we are talking about publicity also. Social media is power for sure, and everybody knows about that. And you've seen even our online media guys now, most of the bloggers are now making it in life. Like now for you, if I may tell the truth, you'd see that we've been doing a lot, and our, let me say what, our fighters have been trying to sell themselves in a different way. Like now, we have a game on the 8th of July, it will be in Nakuru. If you look at it well, you find out that we are trying hard to put on more mechanism to make sure that we advertise it. We do some videos that can advertise it. We do different promos, you see, that will make them also have it big. Then another thing, I've been visiting different kinds of radio stations, TV stations, newspapers, at least to promote this game. And for sure, it's just 4 months, but now, right now I'm talking to you, WKF has really made it big. And it has really achieved some mileage, you see. If you look at it, let me say, publicity-wise, we've made it, and I think that will help. And then another thing, you always see boxers, kickboxers, mixed martial artists, they always face off. And if they don't do that even on, let me say, on any TV station or any online media, it won't sell for sure. So I always tell people that media is power. And if media is with you and they are ready to support you, everything will flow. Yeah.
Very true. Even as we went up, because when all is said and done, at the end of the day, of course, something must be done. And even as they walk out of this door today, the final word, even as we close.
My final word that I always tell people is that, guys, let's work hard towards what we want to achieve. And let's not always ask the government what the government can do for us. Let's always ask ourselves what we can also do for our government. And for our government and for any stakeholder, talent pays. Let's not only concentrate on books alone. CBC, I'm a big supporter of CBC. The reason is that most of us have degrees, PhDs. You recently saw it with the G4S recruitment, what happened. There were thousands of them, they had the PhDs and everything. But now, talent pays. Let's, we as parents or the nation, support talents. Whatever your kid does, whether it's dancing or anything, support them. Then when we do all this, the talent will pay, but hard work pays first.
Well, thank you so much for making time to speak to KUTV. It's always a pleasure. Well, that was, Mr. President himself just talking to us about, steps to be taken in order to make sure, like, boxing in the country is actually elevated to the next level. He has just highlighted some of the key issues that he thinks is very pertinent as far as,
transforming the lives of athletes in terms of welfare, coming up with strategies as a way of marketing the sports, even to broader world. And this is quite, very interesting as far as, the message that we are getting here is pretty clear. And he says it's about time even, the kickboxers, the boxers themselves, the mixed martial arts athletes to just have that passion to actually kick it off and have a genuine belief that sport indeed can pay. In as much as profession pays, even talent can bring greater rewards. And that's where we leave it at this particular moment. Back to you, Pinches.
Haya, mambo yente bashara moja kwa moja kutoka Kayole. Ndio hiyo taarifa kamili umeipata kutoka kwa World Kickboxing Federation President Takid Master Evans AUMA. Habari nzuri kweli, shukran wa Jazilan. Salamu pia zimefika. Ni kweli kwamba jumbe asiye na uji hamkiwi. Kama una uji kuna mtu atakuwa mkia. Asante Takid. Haya, mimi nataka tufunge twenzetu. Kuna story moja ambayo wiki hii imenifurahisha sana. Ni hekaya kweli, lakini ukifikiria kwa undani ni mambo ambayo yanafanyika. Kuna mzee ambaye kweli aliangusha ng'ombe, akamchinja, sikumwangusha. Alafu alitaka awaite watu wa familia, jamaa, waje wapige sherehe pamoja. Hivyo akamwambia wale wasichana wake, nendeni muite familia mje, waje tukule bata pamoja. Sasa wale wasichana wake wakawa janja, wakatokea kwenye barabara, alafu wakasema njooni mtusaidie kuzima moto, mzee wetu anachomeka. La watu wakashangaa, wanapita tu. Sasa sisi tuache kwenda kazi tukazime moto? Tuache kupiga shughuli zetu tukazime moto? Watatu walioingia wakapiga sherehe na mzee. Mzee anashangaa, mbona hawaoni mandugu zake, hawaoni dada zake, hawaoni marafiki wa karibu kwenye ile sherehe ambayo walikuwa wamepanga. Kumbe kwenye siku ya huzuni hao marafiki hawezi kuja kukusaidia, lakini siku ya raha wako hapo. Hawakujua kwamba ukimnyima mwenzako nyama ya senji, Muluku atamnyima nyama ya mbogo. Mimi nataka niende zangu. Nimeshukuru sana kwa ambao umechukua muda tangia saa 7 hadi saa hii natimia saa 10. Tumepiga kipindi kikapendeza. Na ni kweli bure fikisha ujumbe, bure inaumiza. Sasa niende nikunywe sharubati lakini fanya makubwa. Asanteni sana, tupatane hapa kwa niaba ya wote ambao wamefanikisha kipindi. Shukran wa Jazlan, tufanikishe hiki kipindi zaidi Jumamosi, na tupate kupata raha ndani ya hii wiki. Nchi mambo ni magumu, lakini tufanyeje? Huwezi kwenda Uganda, huwezi kwenda Tanzania, labda kusafiri tu, kufurahi tu, but nyumbani ni hapa. Sasa tupambane na nchi yetu. Tulichagua kuku, tupende mchuzi wake. Kwaheri.